You see the Red Isles and the water turning red and like bubbling with blood, and these winged creatures bursting out from the water and flying. Most of them attack the Red Isles, but you see some spiral off towards the mainland, towards Xandria and other nearby things. You see sailing towards the Red Isles under the cover of darkness and all of the chaos, a small boat with 4 people on it, a tiefling, a lion man, a wood elf, and you see a cloaked small drow woman. And you see that in her hair, she has some yellow flowers. You all rush forward towards the compound where you last saw the followers of the greater divinity. And when you get there, you see an empty house. Lights still on, gate open, with a vase of flowers and pamphlets left behind. It looks like once the chaos started, they grabbed their boat and they started heading down to the docks. You think if you hurry, you might just be able to reach them.
I mean, they're carrying a boat.
They're carrying a boat.
All right, everyone, get on my back. We're running.
We cut across to the city. We see rushing down the streets, carrying this canoe, a big buff lion man, a goofy tiefling, a young drow wizard, and a wood elf that's running, and as he's running, he begins to change, and his features morph into that of a big, burly dragonborn, and he helps lift the canoe a little bit higher for the lion man, and they run a little bit faster towards the sea.
Okay, so you are all rushing to catch up with the followers of Greater Divinity that you just discovered had made a break for it with the canoe they had been building in their yard.
We're feeling great after kicking the asses of 3 demons.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Now, you guys are faster than they are. Because
Well, they're carrying a boat, for one.
are carrying a boat.
It's true. Also, I'm carrying the 2 guys here, and I'm a horse.
Yeah. Also, you have a centaur in your party. However, they have had a pretty significant head start from you. So we are going to be doing some skill contests to see if you guys can catch up to the cult that's making a break for it.
All right, let me pull out my dice.
Okay, so here's how we're going to do it. We're going to have a series of 3 skill checks. Where one of you is going to contest the role of one of the other, one of the cult members.
Mm-hmm.
If you guys manage to beat them enough times, you will catch up. If they beat you enough times, they will make it to the shore first, and they will start sailing away, and you guys are going to have to get a boat and go to the Red Isles or admit defeat. Kaya, you are a horse. You cannot
Horses are
swim.
pretty good at swimming, actually.
You cannot swim to a different continent. Well, not a continent.
Is this an athletics check?
To an island. It would... Okay, take a look at the map. Take a look at the map I've sent you. And look at how far away Xandria is from the Red Isles.
Not too bad.
And you tell me...
It's not too bad.
Oh my gosh, this is ridiculous. Who wants to roll first? Who would like to go first?
I asked if this is going to be like an athletic check, or is it just base nothing?
Yeah, it can be athletics or acrobatics. If you can make up a good enough argument for a reason why it would be something else, I would hear you out.
Well, if we get to choose, my athletics is -2 and my acrobatics is +6, so I think I know what I'm doing.
Okay.
Yeah, I could go first since I'm running and I picked you guys up.
Yeah.
Okay.
So that would probably be a general roll for me anyway.
Yeah, sure. That seems right. So our first contest is going to be Kaya, who I assume is rolling athletics, against
and that's
Tix, the Leonin Berserker. No, you're adding your strength.
Strength. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
That's weird. You would think athletics would be dex.
No, acrobatics is dex. Athletics is strength.
It's kind of like how long can you run?
You're kidding.
Amazing.
Well,
Wonderful,
Tix
sir.
rolled a 10. So
Oh, buddy. Oh.
I'm feeling bad about how this is gonna go.
I get you there
Okay.
immediately. We finished the plot. We figured it out.
Yeah, Kaya, you come hurtling over, like, at full ridiculous centaur speed, just tearing down these city streets with, did you put Lois and Jerusalem on your back?
Yeah.
Yes.
In the last, okay, I'm not misremembering that. Tearing down the streets with Lois and Jerusalem on your back, and you see down the way, you see a group of 4 people carrying a canoe as quickly as they can down to the beach. You see the tiefling. Oh wait, no, Jerusalem. You see the tiefling and the Leonin that you spoke to earlier. They're being aided by a big copper dragonborn that you don't recognize. And kind of running alongside them is a small, slight drow young girl. She looks like she's like a young teenager, just like a little bit younger than Jerusalem, like not quite a teenager, but like not quite a young adult. So she, just a young elf of like 80.
Ooh, yeah.
She's like, she looks a lot like her mom, but she's much skinnier and slighter and kind of has like a more nerdy energy to her. She has like curly silver hair that she's cut short into a bob. And she has like these glasses that she's wearing. And she is wearing like just plain robes as she's running alongside everybody else. And first win goes to Kaya.
Yay!
Who would like to roll next to close the distance?
I'll roll next.
Okay.
Okay. I'm gonna roll acrobatics, because this is going to be, I guess, Jerusalem holding on and trying to assist while on Kaya's back. I got a 16.
Okay. I am going to roll for Glee, who is the tiefling cult member that you spoke to earlier. And Glee is gonna get a good roll. Glee got a 7. Okay, so that's another victory. You got Jerusalem. Narrate to me how you use your acrobatics to close the distance here.
Yeah, so I don't imagine Jerusalem does a lot of horse riding, but even so, it's a lot easier for Kaya to run if she's not worried about the 2 people on her back falling off.
True.
So Jerusalem's going to use, I guess, acrobatics to kind of get a stronger hold onto Kaya's back and kind of lower himself down so he's less of a less of a like weight.
Sure. That sounds good.
Yeah.
Okay.
Lois, yeah?
Lois, it's your last turn. You are going against the copper dragonborn that is
Jesus
hefting this
Christ.
canoe.
I'm gonna also say acrobatics mainly because like it really just is involving staying on Kaya's back. It is involving a balance act, basically. It is a balancing act right now. Especially because Kaya is we're riding on her back bareback, which is not a fun time.
Technically, there's no saddle, yeah, but it's not completely bareback. I imagine she has one of those like little cloth back coverings that some horses have when they're like not pack horses, but like to keep the leather of the straps from her bags off her back. She has that little cloth there. So
It's
you
still
also,
not an
armor,
actual.
maybe.
yeah,
It's still not an actual saddle, so
yeah.
that is what I am using.
Oh my gosh, I'm rolling such garbage today. What did you get?
A 12.
A 12?
Yeah.
We tied. Okay. So, you guys are catching up, but just like as easily as Kaya is closing the distance and with all of the weight being like distributed off by Jerusalem, this dragonborn, whoever they are, is just like lifting their huge arms and just carrying this canoe really well. So it looks like we got a tie. So we are going to start up at the top. Back to Kaya.
Oh. All right.
Kaya, if you get this, you win.
Cool.
You just need 3 victories. Oh,
Mm.
we're going back to Tix, the Leonin, the lion-headed guy.
I got a 7.
Okay. Tix got a 15.
No! My
So now
karma!
both teams both have 2 victories now. It all comes down to this next roll. You two are running through the streets of Xandria. You see overhead the city guard I misspoke in the last episode. I said the city was ruled by Earl. Sorry. I said the city was being ruled by Duke Solace. Solace is not a duke. He is an Earl. Maybe we could rectify that where he asks people to call him a duke.
I think we did say that last time.
Which I think would be funny, but he is an Earl, not even, he is not a duke. But you see the standing militia and the city guard fighting against the small amount of demons that have broken away from the Red Isles and made it to Xandria. So they're like these wyvern-riding Dragonborn and Yuan-Ti kobolds and stuff, like flying overhead, dealing with all these flying demons. Every once in a while, some imps will like fly down into the city and like smash through a window or something, but like some city guard will like rush over and like break into the house and like get rid of it, or like you'll see the people inside like smack the imp with a pot or whatever. So during all of this chaos, you two are rushing through the city down towards the beach, and despite the fact that Kaya had such a strong lead at first, Kaya's like running out of steam, and it looks like they're not getting as tired because they have the weight distributed between these 3 people. And so they're actually kind of gaining ground away from you guys. Jerusalem, would you like to roll the last die?
Sure.
Come on, man.
Okay.
Save us. I'm sorry.
You're rolling against Glee, the tiefling.
Okay.
Okay, and I assume you're still sticking with acrobatics.
Yes, I have an idea for this. I rolled an 18.
Ooh.
Oh no! Glee rolled a nat 1. You see
He
Glee.
trips.
He stubs his toe on like a raised like sandstone brick and just immediately eats it. And the Dragonborn behind him trips over him and falls and drops the canoe, and they all go sprawling out across the street.
It just lands on all of them.
Well, you know what Jerusalem does? Jerusalem swings himself off of Kaya's back, and he's gonna run across the rooftops.
Oh my gosh, you just go full Batman?
Yeah.
Incredible. It does not take you long to immediately close the distance as you jump from rooftop to rooftop, and you very quickly find yourself standing on this roof looking over this pile of people and this dropped canoe. I'm gonna roll a real quick luck check just to see if their canoe is broken.
Oh no.
Because they kind of took a pretty bad spill, honestly. Their canoe is fine.
It's a heavy canoe.
I was gonna say, they made that canoe with some hefty stuff.
Okay, you guys won. You guys caught up. Well done. Kaya, you
We won the game.
pull up. Yeah, you won Dungeons and Dragons. This is the end of Pillar Arisen. I hope you guys enjoyed our campaign.
Man, we didn't even make it to level 4.
Turns out you didn't need it.
The true levels were inside you all along.
Stop that.
How dare you?
You guys close the distance. What do you do now that you've caught these 4 people in their canoe on this city street?
Geez, what do we do?
Your orders were to bring back Maribel.
Yeah. Maribel Lume, I presume.
Yeah, I guess I go over to Maribel and help her up, but also, like, firmly make sure that she's not getting away.
Sure. You clop over and you lift up this tiny wizard, and she's like, "Ow, ow." And
Lois immediately, at hearing that, he's still on Kaya's back, and he goes, that must have been a very hard fall. Are you alright?
My gosh, I'm just holding her like bridal style and you just lean over my shoulder.
Exactly. Are you alright?
I'm okay. What happened? The tiefling on the ground kind of like peels himself off the street. He's like, oh, I think I hit a brick. And they all slowly start to like pick themselves up off the ground, but it isn't before too long that they kind of notice that you guys have caught up to them, and they kind of start to look pretty nervous.
I'll have you know that your mother's very worried about your well-being.
You see Maribel, this young drowned woman, she like just grimaces. She's like, oh, we heard she might be here.
Jerusalem comes off the roof and he's like, 30 gold pieces is hardly worth a boat chase.
Now, and this is Lois to Jerusalem and holds up a hand. Don't bring this beautiful elf woman down to just the value of gold.
Oh my gosh.
Damn.
It's like, look, is my mom only paying you guys 30 gold pieces? Because you gotta admit, that's kind of cheap for an adventuring guild. We could probably pay you more if you let me go.
I'm in it for the honor.
How much more?
Maribel looks in her pockets. Maribel goes, I can give you 50 gold.
Well.
Was it 30 gold each or 50 gold for one?
I can give you 50 gold total. Look, you said you're doing this for honor, right? Well, look, I'm doing what I'm doing for a good cause, too.
And what cause would that be?
She gestures at this group of people, this dragonborn, lion man, and tiefling. She goes like, the followers of greater divinity. I heard their message and I had to join. What they're doing is important.
Now my question is why did you leave your wand? Why no note?
I didn't leave a note because I knew my mom would chase after me. And I didn't grab my wand because I bought a spare in town when she wasn't paying attention. I'm given a weekly allowance. It wasn't too hard to stock up some gold and buy some supplies. I just kept them not in the house. She doesn't pay attention to me. She just wants me to turn out just like her. I don't want to light Spider's Keep. They want it dark all the time anyway. Why would I spend my life lighting a city that is eternally night?
That's a good point. I have an idea.
There's so many more things I can do with my time on Earth. Wait, we're not on Earth. There's so many better things I could do with my time on Almora. Wait, Almora is the planet, Torius is the continent. Okay, I'm good.
Suddenly, I don't remember basic geography.
She's wiggling, by the way, this entire time. She's like wiggling around trying to get out of Kaya's grasp.
Not happening.
I have an idea that I think might make everyone a little happier. You guys are not going to the Red Isles. Not tonight, that is. It's way too dangerous. But how about 50 gold pieces will get you to the Red Isles safely, then we'll come back here, tell your mother where you went, and leave it up to her to go get you.
Jerusalem, roll a persuasion check.
And I feel like Lois goes, and in the end, if she asks why we couldn't, I will simply say that with the fiend attack going through town, you managed to slip through our grasp, but we figured you were safe and sound. And trust me when I say, I have made a wonderful impression on her. She will believe me.
She grimaces again.
So that's an unnatural 20.
Oh my
What?
gosh. Considering that I also had a vision of you all sailing to the Red Isles, I feel like that would be enough proof for her.
Okay, Jerusalem, lay out your plan again.
Okay. For the 50 gold pieces, the 3 of them are going to take all of them to the Red Isles. Not tonight when there's a ton of monsters, but maybe on a slightly safer day. And then they'll come back and tell the mother where she is, see if they can get the 30 gold pieces for at least knowing where she is.
Okay. The whole point of leaving tonight was that no one would notice a drow leaving the city. I don't want my mother to know where I am, or else she'll just keep coming for me. She's a very powerful wizard, and she's not gonna listen to me. She's my mother. She's been around for, like, hundreds of years. Nothing I could say would convince her to let me do this.
Maybe. It doesn't have to be you.
Look, I'll give you the gold and we have a deal, as long as you don't tell my mother where I went.
Jerusalem shrugs.
Please! I really feel like this is what I'm supposed to do. At this point, the Dragonborn has, like, gotten up and is, like, eyeing you all, and is standing next to the Leonin. They're, like, 2 big, beefy dudes. And then, Glee is, like, sitting down, on the road and, like, holding his hand up to his nose, because he got a really bad nosebleed when he fell over.
Kaya puts down, Lavender?
Her name is Maribel Lavender Lumi.
Okay.
I would like to say, though, Lois winks at the 2.
Oh my
That's
gosh.
Dragonborn and the Leonidas.
Roll a charisma check real quick, Lois. Just your charisma, no persuasion.
Okay, yeah. That's a 19.
Okay. You know, you make a good impression. You wink, you know.
So, Kaya puts down Maribel and dusts her off a little. And she says, I saw you sailing to the Red Isles in the chapel with a vision from the god that I follow. And I am not one to play with fate. So I say that you 3 sail to the Red Isles and we will handle the rest.
Is that amenable to your compatriots? And Maribel looks at Lois and Jerusalem.
And Lois thinks for a moment and goes, I mean, there is a way I might be able to give you some distance.
Oh my god.
Jerusalem just, like, goes to Kaya and is like, we need to make money somehow.
All I have are 50 gold pieces. Maybe when we get to the prophetess Ophelia, she can give you some gold for your troubles? I don't know if that's something that the prophetess would be willing to do or even could do. Maribel looks at the 3 members of the clergy. Glee kind of is, like, holding his nose. He's like, Ophelia is kind and generous, and money is no object to her. I'm sure we could come to some sort of arrangement.
Okay, we'll do it.
Okay.
50 gold pieces, we'll take you to the Red Isles.
Great. Tonight?
Do we have a
Yes.
boat?
Tonight?
I won't fit in the canoe.
I have
The
a contact.
canoe only sits 4.
I have a contact.
Okay. So you've decided to continue to use their plan of using the cover of night and, like, the chaos to sail across to the Red Isles. You've decided to help Maribel and the followers of Greater Divinity. Okay. Jerusalem, who was your contact with the boat?
Okay. If it's not going to be my merchant connection we used earlier,
It's the guy
If you want to talk to Jag, you can try and talk to Jag.
Isn't it the boat guy? We had a boat guy. What was the boat guy? Is that Jag?
I think they're
Yes,
talking
Jag.
about Jag.
Okay.
Yeah. I think it was Jag. Besides, we need to tell him he doesn't need to keep an eye on
Oh, it's
anymore,
true.
so
That is true.
Okay.
let's go find him.
Yeah, so you all you kind of have a large group of people at this point.
Yeah. How much did I offer Jag to stop them from leaving?
I think it was
Lois-
5.
Lois gave...
A gold piece or 5
I think it
gold
was 5
pieces?
because it wasn't 1.
Yeah.
Okay.
So, we'll probably use some of the 50 gold pieces to pay for the renting the
Okay.
boat, I suppose.
Um,
Even if it's 10 gold pieces, that's still 10 more gold than we'd be getting, so... Plus, if money is, quote, no object...
Oh, yeah, nah.
Money being no object might also mean that they have no money, because money is not important to them.
We'll find out when we get there. Either way, we're still 10 gold more rich than we would have turning Maribel in.
True.
So.
you all head down to the docks, which are mostly kind of abandoned at this point because the city guard came in and was like, you guys absolutely cannot be here. Everyone go home. Except for like a couple merchants that like know Jag, and you see Jag, who is standing next to his shop is kind of near the water. His shop is its sign hanging out front just has Jag's very good objects carved into it. And you see Jag is still carrying boxes from his small ship to his shop.
It's just Ron Swanson's okay carpentry.
Jag's very good objects. He sees you all, like, approaching, and he sees the young drow woman that he'd been paid gold to not leave. And he, like, just, like, sets down the box and walks into the middle of the road and is like, I was recently paid a sum of coinage to not allow passage to this young drow.
Jag.
That was me. We found her.
He looks at you and blinks. So does our offer no longer stand?
I'm raising our offer for you to help us take a boat to the Red Isles.
It is dangerous to sail. You
That's-
see a demon fall out of the sky and into the water.
We can handle it.
Kaya
10
just
gold.
covered in demon blood already.
12 gold.
9 gold.
12 gold.
Can I, like, roll a persuasion?
Yeah, sure, you can roll persuasion.
Oof. I got a 4.
I would like to roll.
13 gold.
I would like to roll as
No,
well.
hold up.
Jerusalem just goes like, crap, and steps back.
Lois just gives like a pat.
I got a 14 to intimidation.
Oh my
Ooh.
god.
Okay, intimidate this lizard man.
As Jerusalem is struggling to hackle with this guy, Kaya just comes up behind Jerusalem, demon blood over her face and chest, just golden eyes seeming to be glowing, and looms over him and goes, "You will take it for 8 gold and no more."
Okay, and what did you roll on that intimidation?
What was that? Did I say 14?
14. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. 14 gold.
Alrighty. Lois just goes, allow me. And Lois comes
Can I
up.
strangle him?
No, I'm doing.
Well.
And Lois just goes, allow me. How about we go back to that nice 10 gold, and we'll just say, I owe you a favor, and winks.
How about we do it for no gold and
Roll
we steal your
persuasion.
boat?
Roll persuade. He's like, it is dangerous to sail when the blood river tide is in.
Of course. I'm not saying it's not.
Roll persuasion, Lois.
Okay. Hold on, I have to do the math. 21!
Oh, thank goodness.
I will take 10 gold and a favor.
And Lois
All
drinks
right.
again and places a hand on his shoulder and goes, "Thank you."
He grunts.
Lois walks back. Well, more like kind of sways his hips as he walks back, and
Oh my gosh,
and he
struts.
whispers to Kaya and Jerusalem quietly and goes, "Amateur, you gotta have more tact." And he just passes by.
He is a merchant. It
I
explains
rolled
why
a
this is
23
harder.
to stabbing Lois.
Oh,
Well, roll damage. 23 beats
non-lethal.
Lois's arm.
Why are you stabbing me? Why are you?
You're a priest.
Why are you stabbing me?
Lois is annoying me.
Jag loads you on to his merchant ship, which is like a small sailing ship. All 7 of you guys. You see the name on the side of the boat is Jag's Good Boat.
An excellent name.
I named it that because that is what it is. And he like climbs up. He keeps a very clean boat. It's like very neat and orderly. There's like a lot of like supplies and things. He hasn't even finished unloading all of his merchandise off the first time. And he like looks down at all of you and goes, "If you want passage, you will have to help sail this boat. I have already dismissed my crew."
Of course. And he looks towards the people who are ready for Ophelia and goes, "I mean, you were going to sail, and this is much safer than a canoe."
It's true.
Maribel like nods. She goes like, "We were hoping that since the canoe was so small and it was just 4 of us, we wouldn't catch any attention and it would be easy to get across."
Have you even tested that thing in the water?
She looks at the 3 followers of Greater Divinity. One moment. Glee goes, "Of course we tested it in the water. We're not stupid."
Did you test it in the water during all of this?
No, this has been the first major break since we arrived.
So, when the waters are most tumultuous, you were planning on sailing when now only having tested it when it was much calmer.
Their eyes are going to be on the city and on the small army of wyvern-riding reptiles. They're not going to be looking for a small canoe in the dark water.
I was not talking about the townspeople. Or the guards. I was talking about the creatures coming in them.
Same goes for the fiends of the lower. Their eyes would be elsewhere. They wouldn't be looking down at the water. Besides, the prophetess Ophelia's divine grace would protect us.
Kaya shoos everyone onto the boat. He's like, "Can we just get going, please?"
Okay, everyone gets on the boat. The Dragonborn, who you learn his name is Tiphys, Glee and Tix, which is the Lion Man, they all agree to help out with Jag's boat and, helping the boat get off. Do any of the braid assist in sailing this ship?
Yeah.
Not Lois. Not Lois! He was the one that bargained! No!
By the way, who gives Jag the gold?
I did.
Okay.
Should I put the 40 gold in, like, a shared braid, like, stores?
Sure.
Sure.
Yeah.
Once you pay, Maribel gives you the 50 gold, by the way.
Yeah.
She kind of, like, sheepishly, she walks up as the boat takes off. She's, like, not looking you in the eye, and she goes, like, she, like, hands you her wallet.
Oh, no.
Like, she just takes off her coin purse and gives it to you, and she's like, "This is everything I have after months of saving."
Okay. Jerusalem's like, I don't need the bag, and he empties it into his own purse.
You just give her back an empty bag?
Well, yeah,
Yeah.
she collects more money in the future.
Her cheeks, like, flush with anger, and she, like, storms off.
And Lois, because this is, he kind of slides over and he goes, don't mind him. His social skills are somewhat lacking. And he extends his hand and goes, we never properly introduce ourselves. I'm Lois.
My name is, Maribel. She shakes your hand, Lois.
Nice to meet you, Maribel.
Nice to meet you, too. Oh, what a disaster.
I mean, look at the bright side. You're not going back to your mother.
That's true. I don't think I could have survived living in Spider's Keep for the rest of my life. Just hundreds and hundreds of years in the same place, doing the same thing. Feel like I'd go crazy.
Sounds dull.
Yeah, I'd already had my fill of it long before my 80th birthday. But I guess you wouldn't know anything about that, huh? You must have been all over.
I've traveled here and there. I will say, I'm a bit of a performer.
Oh?
I want to create music and have people enjoy my own works for themselves.
Probably seems like that would be a bad idea, and she gestures up.
Oh, of course, not right now.
Maybe next time.
He's a heartbreaker.
Kaya just yells that from somewhere. Kaya, what are you doing?
Helping out with the boat.
Yeah,
Tightening whatever needs to be tightened, loosening ropes, making sure that the sails are good, whatnot.
sure. You are doing all of this next to Tiphys, the Dragonborn, who kind of as he's helping you, at one point you look away, and when you look back, he is a centaur.
Kaya just blinks a little bit, that goes back to tying a sailor's knot.
Okay. If you don't talk to Tiphys, Tiphys doesn't talk to you. Tiphys just turns into a centaur and keeps doing what Tiphys is doing. But, like, Tiphys, like, tries to stay, like, in your sight for the rest of the night, just to, like...
Why?
He's trying to flirt with you.
Yeah, I was gonna say, that's some pretty good flirting.
Mimicking is a flirtatious...
Yeah, I think after, like, we get halfway there, Kaya noticed at first, and just, like, started to test the theory, walked, like, to different parts of the boat to do different jobs, and, like, each time go further to see if they would keep following, and then just after a bit just turns and goes, I've noticed that you have taken an interest in me.
You are the most uneasy by us. I figured this would be the easiest way to make you feel at home. You have not been home for a very long time, have you not?
Call out time. Call out time.
Oh, rude. Kaya sighs and just says, yes, it has been a while.
I also have not been home in a very long time.
Do you miss it?
Yes, very much so. I am eager to return to the prophetess.
Well, it won't be long now. Perhaps I will return to my family soon.
Tiphys nods at you. Jerusalem, are you doing anything on the boat?
If he's working, he's doing it very minimally.
He's like playing with a rope. Or like he's untied and retied the same boat. Like,
You're checking the knots that Kaya tied.
He just, like, picks up a coil of rope, recoils it, drops it.
Dust
Oh my
the
God.
banister a little.
Jerusalem, roll insight for me.
Alright, yeah. That's... Wisdom. I'm not great in that.
I want to say I rolled to see how good Kaya is at boats, and she rolled a flat 19, so...
You don't have, like, proficiency in it,
No.
especially since you lived in a desert.
I
but,
think
like,
because she's traveled a lot, though, she's
Yeah.
at least a little bit familiar.
But
you're
don't you
following
get, like,
instructions well.
disadvantage if you're rolling for something you don't have proficiency in?
You don't get a bonus. And I'm tempted to.
Yeah, if you're bad at something, you take disadvantage.
I guess so.
Yeah.
Well, I got a 5
Oh
on the insight.
This seems like a good plan, and nothing's gonna go wrong.
no!
I already knew that.
You feel like this is a great plan.
You didn't need to tell me twice.
Nothing has changed.
It's all you got 50 gold in your pocket, baby. It's all looking up
40
for
gold.
you. 40 gold.
Yep, nothing wrong here.
Oh no!
Just keeping an eye out for demons.
Good times. Good times. Jag's ship is like relatively small, and at this point, like, it wasn't like that bad of a breach, all things considered. So like most of the demons got rounded up. And even then, like, most of them die before they ever even leave the vicinity of the Red Isles. They just, like, get taken out. And then, of course, the ones that don't attack the Red Isles and immediately die, like, they break off and they head, like, western towards the various, like, cities on the coast of Xandria. I mean, the various cities on the coast of Grayscale. And, like, some make their way towards Xandria, but, like, some don't even, like, go that far up north. Some just, like, take off towards Kane's Folly or Goodfang. And so, like, and it wasn't even that bad of a breach. So, like, honestly, the demons are kind of thinned out at this point. You, like, see a couple people on, like, wyverns, like, circling overhead, but, like, dawn's starting to break. Most of the demons have gotten, like, taken out by this point, and, like, Solace has called back his men. And so at this point, it's, like, looking like it's not even a big deal.
Okay.
I don't like the way you said that.
Yeah, it's quick and, like, simple sailing. It seems like most of the danger's over. You guys are just heading towards the Red Isles. I will say, as you are getting closer to the Red Isles and as dawn is starting to break, you see, like, the water is, like, pink here. Like the ocean.
Cool.
As you are getting closer and closer to the Red Isles, it is becoming more and more red as you get closer. And you see, like, what looks like dye almost diluted over. It's like this angry red, like, thick substance. It almost looks like there's like currents of blood in the water that are, like, moving around and snaking about. Jag clearly doesn't look pleased to, like, be here.
Mm.
These waters are dangerous.
I know, Jag, and thank you for bringing us.
Why is it dangerous, other than the demons?
You would know it's the demons.
Okay.
The Red Isles sit on top of a planar rift that the fiends of the lower planes created. They have this force called the Blood River, and they have, like, pushed it up through the plains, and it has broken through basically to here. And so it is like this massive extraplanar river of blood that is slowly seeping out underneath the Red Isles. And they basically, like, ride up this river through the different dimensions and out into the physical plane, which is where you guys are. And so the Red Isles are, like, constantly beset by these different waves of demons that break through.
Kaya just sighs frustratedly, looking down at the little currents, and just says, I can't understand why anyone would want to live here.
Glee walks forward and kind of like looks out over the water, and he goes like, well, to the beast folk, it's the only home they've ever known. It's where their ancestors and their ancestors have lived. And to people like us, and he points at his tiefling horns, it's a chance to get in roots with your heritage in a way, I guess. Some of us come to kind of put the middle finger up at our parents and the fiendish forces that created us, and some want to make dear old dad or mom happy, and so they come and try and help. But either way, it's the place to be, to, you know, do what you want to do. I guess there used to be, like, humans on the island, like, a long, long time ago, but ever since the Red River, like, broke through, like, they just kept having, like, more and more of their kids came out as tieflings until just, like, whatever humans were left on the island all just had tieflings.
No one's worried about the demons?
They're extremely worried about the demons. We're all worried about the demons. It's a major concern every day, but, you know, it's home. And if we didn't live there and keep the demons from breaking through, then they just would. Then it would be Xandria's problem.
I suppose it is a different concept, and one that I am not familiar with, considering my home is no longer existing.
Well, I think you maybe understand a little bit better than most people would. He gestures at your bird tattoo and, like, holy symbol. You follow Osmaldus?
Yes.
Well, doesn't Osmaldus teach that stuff shouldn't go between the planes?
Of course.
Well, there you go. We have a lot of people from the Church of Osmaldus, like missionaries. They come down and they, like, slay demons and try and reinforce the boundaries between the different floors of the pillar.
If we could just close the rift.
Yeah. Wish it was that easy. But no one knows how to do that, or we would have done it already.
Little icon on the top left. Kaya will remember this.
Kaya's just like, what if I just made all the demons go away? It can't be that hard, right? What if I just ended 800 years of war? Maybe they're dumb and bad.
I'm an anime protagonist, right?
Anime protagonist. I believe in Bird Jesus.
No! And Lois just goes, it has its own charm to it, I suppose. I mean, every family kind of area is just a little fucked up, in my opinion.
Oh, well. Yeah, I guess ever since the war, everywhere kind of has its own problems. But, you know, the Red Isles, they're beautiful. Truly gorgeous. You don't get, you know, the same horizons there that you do anywhere else in the world. Obviously, it's because of the extra-dimensional river of blood, but it still makes for beautiful sunsets and sunrises.
Yes, of course. There's always the silver lining to things.
Yeah, absolutely. So you guys kind of like talk in this manner until you make it from Xandria down to one of the main bodies of land that make up the Red Isles.
Jerusalem continues to think about how good this trip is going.
So you all arrive on the Red Isles, and it immediately has like this entirely different feel from Xandria. The Red Islands are like tropical. By the time you get here, the water here is just red. It is just like red water. You arrive on these tropical islands that are just like full of these palm trees and everything. The Red Isles are like primarily populated by like tiefling and beast folk, so you just see you're used to being in grayscale for the past couple of months, which is just like all reptiles all the time. Here you see just like a bunch of tiefling that have like made entire villages. You see tabaxi, which are like these cat people that kind of look like jaguars or like domestic cats. They're like Khajiit from Skyrim, and like based on their different like families or heritages or like clans, they like look like different kinds of like cat species. They're like wandering around. You see there's like these barricades that are made out of like cut down bamboo trees that are like just placed up all over the island. There's a bunch of they're Leonin, which are like these big, they look like the Tabaxi's big brothers, where like they're these big lion men that are like working with the different Tabaxi and everything. Everyone here looks like battle scarred almost, of like, not everyone's like missing eyes or limbs or everything, though that's not like that uncommon to see, but everyone here looks like hardened. Like everyone here kind of has to be a bit of a warrior and a bit of a fighter. And also on the Red Isles, you see like a bunch of Minotaur. There's just like a huge Minotaur population on the Red Isles, which are like these big bull-headed and cow-headed like people that are like just like massive. You see like Minotaur clerics tending to like wounded soldiers and villagers, healing them, and everything. Like there's this big like Minotaur man that is like fixing up a like small hut that just like had been completely decimated during the night, and there are just like splats of like demon ichor and like devil corpses and bones and everything just like spread out throughout. Like there is a small pile of like fiendish corpses that is being stacked up in the middle of this village, pretty much.
Instead of a rat population, it's the
exactly
the demon infestation.
You see this old, wizened, gnarled-looking, nasty cat man who just has this big bird cage just shoved full of imps.
Oh no! Alive or dead?
Alive.
Oh.
They're like scrambling and biting each other and like trying to wiggle out. And he's like, "Imps for sale."
What?
Imps. Get your imps.
Why is he selling imps? What do you do with them? Eat them?
I'm sure there's some alchemical like use.
Lots of wizards, sorcerer, like lots of mages use imps as familiars. They like bind them.
It's true.
In like demonic, in devilish contracts and use them as familiars. Also, one guy's eating one.
Oh.
Good eating.
They're probably really stringy, kind of bitter.
Yeah.
Maybe they taste like frogs.
Speaking of, there's also grung live here. So like, there's poisonous like tree frog people.
Ooh.
That are like also in the mix. That are in the town, talking to people, making trades, and like
very mixed
talking
culture
to
here.
people about
Yeah.
a lot of beast folk living in this tropical area. And the followers of Greater Divinity. Jag doesn't want to get off the boat. Jag is like, "This place has a low survivability rate. If I get on the island, I may die. I will stay here."
Yeah,
So-
but I bet they don't get outside wares often, but you could make some bucks. Or, I guess you don't say that if you have gold.
I will sell from the ship.
But you can make some G.
Get that bread.
Jag just stands on the prow of the ship and just yells,
Get your
"Do any of you
wares!
desire fine objects?"
Jag has wares!
Some people like look at him weird. They're like, what is this lizard man talking about?
He's like 20 feet away from shore, just shouting.
You have to take a boat to go to him.
"Come purchase my wares." You all
What?
just
I can't hear you.
he lifts a box full of swords just over his head.
Chirps and it falls off the edge.
Oh no, he loses a bunch of merchandise. So you all start following the followers of Greater Divinity. Like, past the village and kind of into this tropical jungle. And you start like heading up this hill a bit of a ways until you come to this hilltop that can like look down over the village and off into like the red coastal horizon. And you see like a smaller like almost a religious commune has been built up here. And, like before, it has a lot of the people of the Red Isles, of, like, their Minotaur and Leonin and Tabaxi and, like, some frog people. But you also see some humans and, like, some bird people from Refuge. There's even, like, a dwarf down here. It seems like people from, like, all sort of walks of life have, like, come down here. And...
Are the flowers just, like, everywhere?
Yes, I was about to say. And... decorating a lot of their hair, and like hung in garlands on the doors and growing in the grass are these are Ophelia's miracle of these small sunflower-looking flowers that have these like kind of like fanged or barbed flower petals. They're just growing everywhere. You see like there's this Minotaur woman that like walks up and hugs Glenn, like into this big hug, kind of like smothers him because she's just like so much bigger than this tiny little tiefling dude. She's wearing this like big like flower crown made out of them. She smiles and she goes, "Welcome to the followers of greater divinity. Are you all going to be new brothers and sisters?"
Oh, no.
Lois goes, well, I do believe that it would be beneficial. I would have to talk to my own, I would say,
Your mom.
fairy godmother, sort of.
Your mom.
Of course. My name is Josephine. It is a pleasure to meet all of you. And Josephine just goes around and gives everyone a big ol' hug.
Oh no.
Oh.
Oh no.
She's like a big Minotaur lady.
Exactly, that's why I said oh no.
Is she a cutie?
Roll.
Let me roll. Oh, absolutely.
Oh, okay.
Excellent.
So then Lois is just like, oh, he's a very happy man.
She is like this black female Minotaur who's again like wearing very simple clothes and this flower crown made out of Ophelia's miracle. And she like welcomes back Glenn and Tiphys and everyone. Tiphys, you see, turns into their true form, which is just like a gray, featureless humanoid, except for like slit nostrils and like glowing gold eyes. Just drops whatever like Tiphys was pretending to be, just changes back into normal. And you realize this group probably has a decent amount of like doppelgangers or changelings in it as well, who may be native to the island. And like just is totally comfortable being themselves here.
That's good.
Maribel, like, is welcomed in with open arms. Big hug for Maribel. Josephine instantly is, like, calling her sister Maribel, says they don't get a lot of elves here, but is very happy, and turns around and goes, like, we must thank the braid. I assume when she goes around and hugs everyone, she got their introductions.
Yeah, probably.
Yeah.
We must thank the braid for bringing our new sister and our brothers back safely. If you would like, you can come see Ophelia. I believe she's just finished up a sermon.
That would be wonderful.
Yes, I'm sure she'd like to thank you in person. And, you know, it's not every day that you get to meet a real-life prophet.
Kaya, who just saw Oswaldus like 5 minutes ago.
I was gonna say Kaya legit.
I would like to say being a prophet and being a paladin are very different things. But, yeah. Josephine takes you guys to, like, this smaller hutch and kind of that has another garland of these flowers on it. And she knocks and she goes, Prophetess, we have a group of adventurers here that have brought us more brothers and sisters from Xandria. And after a moment, you hear like some rustling, and the door just like swings open. And stepping out, you see the sunflower yellow tiefling. She has these horns that kind of curl up behind her head and almost touch, so it almost looks like her tiefling horns are making a halo. And stretching off of her back are these big, bright yellow, like feathered wings.
Ooh.
But besides that, she looks like a bright yellow tiefling. She has long, like platinum blonde hair that she's woven her flowers into, like very ornately. She's wearing super simple clothes. She almost looks like a barmaid or a handmaiden, where just like a very simple like dress, corset, and just like blouse on. Like it looks like she's been at work. But like the thing that you guys do know is her eyes are just glowing bright white with like radiant divine energy. And I don't just mean like her eyes are pure white. Like they are actually glowing out. Like light is emitting out of them.
Wow.
Hey, Riley.
Yeah?
How hot?
Extremely.
Yeah.
She is probably one of the most like radiant creatures, Lois, you have ever seen besides Sylph.
And that's weird for Lois, because that's like mom, basically.
Yes.
And he just smiles brightly and he goes, "It's a pleasure to meet you."
I would also like to say, Kaya,
Yes.
your divine sense goes off when you see this woman. Despite the fact that she is a tiefling, she is registering to you as like a massive celestial presence.
Oh.
And this entire ground is like sanctified and hallowed.
Okay.
Kaya's just having like a mini like internal like
She smiles as she goes.
I think Kaya bows.
Kaya bows. Lois immediately flirts. Jerusalem, do you do anything to seeing the prophet Ophelia for the first time?
I think he's kind of maybe stunned.
Yeah.
Like that wasn't what he was expecting.
Because Kaya worships Oswaldus, but also show respect where it's due.
Yeah, I was
Yeah.
gonna say.
Yeah, she smiles and she immediately starts she goes around and hugs everyone too.
Everyone's just hugging everyone. Lois is very happy with this development, by the way.
She's like, "It's an absolute pleasure to meet you all. My name is Ophelia. You all must be who Josephine just told me about. I would love to meet you all individually and learn your names. I just wrapped up a sermon, so I'm a little bit on the tired side right now, so I hope you can excuse me. It is an absolute pleasure to welcome you here to our gathering. If you have any questions, I'd be happy to answer them for you."
This is a meta question. Did Jerusalem tell Lois and Kaya about what they were told about the whole religion?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
So we do know.
Also, since we were kind of in a bit of a rush, it happened on the boat.
Yeah, sure.
Okay, so you probably would have told us on the boat.
There was probably some talking about Ophelia on the boat anyways.
Yes.
I also have a meta question for Reese.
What?
Is Lois like a little bit too handsy during the hugs?
No, he's respectful in that regard.
That's new.
In that regards, he's flirtatious. He doesn't touch without that, but they're hugging him, so he's just, you can tell this is like, they're very tactile people. Lois will remember this. Like,
Lois, I'll take what I can get.
he can get a lot.
He's like, I wonder if this commune has cuddle sessions.
There's that, no. That's too
By
PG.
sermons, do we mean cuddles?
I like that you guys how PG you all think Lois's mind is. No. He is just like, they're tactile
Listen, cuddle
people.
sessions can mean whatever you want it to.
Kaya, when you get hugged by Ophelia, I think that just kind of you notice, because your divine sense is like pinging wildly. For a prophetess, she doesn't have a holy symbol on her or like any symbol or like livery of like the priesthood or any symbol of a god or anything like that. Like she's not wearing jewelry or any symbols on her clothes or anything like that to like denote who she follows.
Kaya will remember this.
I have finally thought of a question that Jerusalem would totally say. So when she's like, the moment Jerusalem finally snaps out of like being just surprised, she's like, "So what are you a prophetess of?"
Right. I kind of get this question a lot. It's a little bit difficult, but I don't answer to any of the gods. I am not one of their chosen. I believe I was chosen by something greater. You could call it like divinity itself, just celestial energy. I've just been chosen to be a higher power. Don't get me wrong. I don't think there's anything wrong with worshiping the Pantheon. I think the Pantheon is a group of wonderful, incredible creatures who I know have the best intentions for our world and their followers. But I respect them all kind of equally. And I kind of work to aid them in a way, I guess you could say. We have some unique differing beliefs here.
Can I roll either an insight or a religion check?
Sure, tell me which one you roll, because it'll get you different stuff.
Because, okay, she's not following any other religion, so probably insight.
You could roll religion too, because religion just defines like religious stuff you know about how like the higher planes work. But if you want to roll insight, that'll tell you about like who Ophelia is as a person. But if you want to know like the celestial workings of what's going on, that would probably be religion.
I will roll religion then. Is that wisdom?
Okay. Religion is wisdom in my games.
Mine says intelligence.
Yeah, I think that's done.
Riley talked about it in our
yeah.
In our thing. He was like, I think it should be wisdom, so that's what I'm gonna make it.
We do a little bit of homebrew here.
Yeah.
All right.
It wouldn't be Riley's game if homebrew didn't. If it was homebrew.
All right, so that is a 15.
A 15, and you're just kind of like searching your head religiously for like what she is.
Yeah, from what I've learned from when I was at the school of just religion and stuff, and from what I've seen around the world of the different gods and Osmaldus and stuff. Just what I've picked up trying to figure out what's going on here.
So, what you know is people don't, like, the magic that people use is, like, arcane energy, which is just, like, another form of energy that exists in the world that is supplied over the world through, like, ley lines and just natural energy. It's like, magic is like physics in Almora. And the magic that people use is, like, arcane in nature. But then there are like two other types of magical energies that people do not get naturally. There is the fiendish magic and energies that come from the lower planes at the bottom of the pillar that are derived from non-conceptual beings and are energies about breaking down like concepts and like higher ideals and things like that. And then there is celestial energy and like holy magic, which is magic that comes from the higher planes, which is from like high conceptual beings that represent things like fire or strength or war or whatever like that. And so what you know on a 15 is that like you get your powers from Osmaldus. Everyone in the Osmaldus Church that works holy magic gets their powers from Osmaldus because they've made a dedication to him, and so he gives holy power in return so that they can like work magic and miracles.
Mm-hmm.
That is how holy magic works. As far as you know, what is happening with Ophelia should not be happening. Like, Ophelia should be getting her divine energy from somewhere. No one is just, like, a person doesn't just become holy for no reason.
Kaya will remember this.
Kaya is sus.
Kaya's sus.
She is sus of Ophelia now a little bit. Just a tad bit.
Do we want to do a thing where, like, because she said she was tired, like, can we talk to her at dinner or something?
Yeah, sure. So, you haven't, like, even discussed payment or anything with her yet at this point, but we can say that, like, as you're all trying to get, like, a handle on who Ophelia is, like, she's like, I would love to talk to you and explain what we believe in and what we're about here at the Followers of Greater Divinity. But I must say, I am going to need to kind of walk and talk. I have a lot to do today. As I'm sure you are aware, there was a breach from the sea last night. And so it is one of my duties to go around and supply different people with healing magic that might need it or anything like that. I've already done one round this morning before our afternoon sermon, so I believe that we just have one more trip for the day, and then we'll settle back in for dinner. And we can all talk then. Does that all sound lovely?
That sounds amazing, Ophelia.
Wonderful.
As a follower of Osmaldus myself, I will do whatever you need me to do to help out in this situation as well.
The followers of divinity are always welcome here amongst my followers, and I am sure that the divine magic that you've been blessed with from Osmaldus is exactly the kind of thing that the members of the Red Isles need today. If you would like to accompany me and help me with healing the different villagers and tending to their needs, I would feel very blessed to have you follow with me.
Of course. And Kaya does like a little head bow.
Wonderful. I would also love to meet Maribel. I'm afraid I haven't seen the person that you've all brought here for me to meet.
Did we leave her outside?
Yeah,
She's having a
Maribel
good
was
time.
like with Tiphys and everyone when you guys arrived. And Josephine kind of came and just got you guys after she said hi and brought you over. Because Josephine kind of clocked that you guys might want to talk about, like, payment and stuff like that. Whereas Maribel is being, like, greeted by people.
Maribel's gonna stick around.
Welcomed. Maribel, like, they're talking about, like, living situations with Maribel. Like, they're getting Maribel a home.
Well, I believe she's still outside if you would like to come with us.
Wonderful. I would love to meet her. So I hope that's okay? We're okay with a walk and talk?
Yeah,
Of
sure.
course.
I'd love a walk on a tropical island.
Lovely. You know, the horizon here is unlike anything you have ever seen. It is blessedly unique here.
So we've been told.
And she, like, walks around. She starts going around healing, not only just members of the Followers of Greater Divinity, like throwing a couple healing spells on them. She does, like, grasp Glee's face and fix his nose. And Kaya, you clock this, like, she's doing healing magic. Like, when she touches Glee and heals his nose, that's the real thing. But then she heads down to the village, and she starts, like, healing different people of the Red Isles down there that suffered from last night's attack. And we kind of get a montage of this that kind of, like, goes through the day, and then as it starts to get dark, she starts to head back up. And we get, like, this shot of everyone, like, at the commune getting ready of, like, they're all preparing these different dinners and everything as you guys start coming up.
Hey Mark Experience listeners, it's end credits time. I know you love hearing this part, but I like to remind you guys that you can find us on Tumblr, Instagram, and even TikTok. And if you like to buy the music, you can buy it all at markexperience.bandcamp.com. We also have a constantly growing collection of merch at redbubble.com/people/mark-experience, where you can buy posters and shirts and stickers and all that. If you want to support your favorite editor and musician, you can head over to my Ko-fi account at ko-fi.com/JamieRemy. That's spelled JAMIEREMY. Mark Experience can be located basically anywhere podcasts exist now, so you can listen wherever's easiest. See you next episode!